Dr. Vatagianis, honored class of 1996. As I look around the gymnasium and acknowledge the 274 graduates and hundreds of friends and relatives who have come to wish them well, I say welcome to Mishawaka High School. It seems unfair that after weeks and weeks of rain and cold that we once again have been forced inside, although right now it looks like it's warm and muggy out there. Nonetheless, fate has again determined, like on that very first graduation 119 years ago, that commencement exercises would be conducted indoors. Nonetheless, we have an exciting program this afternoon ahead of us. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce both of our salutatorians, Elizabeth Lucas, daughter of Sarah and Mark Zeke, and Andrew Yoga, son of Diane and Harry Yoga. They will offer our salutatory addresses. Elizabeth? Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Vatagianis.
Thank you, Mr. Trevoli. Members of the board, graduates, honored guests, Dr. Rita Haynes, and colleagues, parents, family, and friends, would you listen closely for just a moment? Do you hear that thunder? And I don't think it's not Mr. Chamberlain. Mr. Trevoli, I'm sure it's thunder out there. The graduates are glad it's inside today. You really would appreciate your kindness and acknowledgement that really we did have to have commencement inside today, and I know Mr. Trevoli was concerned that you would be unhappy. Truly, rain, thunder, clouds are not going to ruin this special day for some very special young people. So we welcome all of you to this special day. And graduates, would you please rise at this time? I'd like you to look up at your parents and your families. I'd like you to realize this is... I should have started there, right? I want you to realize... Graduates, it's getting warmer in here. I'd like you to realize that this is one of the proudest moments for your parents and for your families. They truly want the best for you, and as you move out into the real world, as our salutatorian said to us just a few minutes ago, we really want you to be the very best possible individuals that you can be. Could we recognize our graduating class of 1996, please? Now I'm going to ask the parents, the guardians, the grandparents, the families of our graduates to please rise. I know it's warm. Graduates, the focus today is on you, but I think it's important that you remember the parents, the guardians, the family members that have helped you to get to this special day. Although this special day is for you, would you recognize all of these wonderful people? We'd also like our teachers, administrators, and the board to please rise for a moment. These are the individuals who have also worked very hard to get to this graduation day with you. Graduates, thank you for taking the time to honor these individuals today. At this time, it is an honor to introduce to you the School City of Mishawaka Board of School Trustees. We are here today to recognize the class of 1996 for completing the educational requirements for graduation from Mishawaka High School. And the members of the board truly deserve a great deal of credit for their hard work and for making the policy Donna Campbell, Secretary of the Board. Mrs. Tony Clyde-Ellis, Member of the Board. Mr. Mike Triple, Member of the Board. Would you please recognize the Board as a whole? Graduates, everybody, Mrs. Lynette is waiting for you. Graduates, there is a lot of celebration that is going to take place and a lot that has already taken place, and we certainly understand the excitement that all of you feel today. But as you wait during these final moments before you finally have that diploma in your hands, everyone has something to say to you, and after that we'll see maybe something else, I don't know. Most important, however, more important than anything that any of us can say to you, is what you are saying to yourselves this afternoon as you step into your future. The salutatory made reference to the real world and that you're not coming back in the fall. We hope that you'll always feel welcome to Mishawaka, but you are stepping into your future. Again, there's nothing that anyone can say more important than what you say to yourself. My hope for you is that you reach two goals. First, I want you to have baptism to make each of you truly happy. And second, I hope that each of you will contribute to your community and to your nation. You're about to move into the 21st century. You're going to be our leaders. Wherever you are in 5 years, that will be the beginning of the new century. My challenge to you is that you cause something to happen, something good. I'd like to share with you one very brief story. I know you're anxious to go on with the afternoon. And I think the story's message helps us to be optimistic about what we are causing or what we are able to cause to happen. A young man was walking along the beach, something you can relate to this afternoon. An older man was watching that young man, and he was very perplexed. The younger man kept stooping and picking up something and throwing it back into the sea. He kept repeating that action, and the older man kept watching him. Finally, the older man walked over to the young man and said, "What are you doing?" And the young man replied, "I'm saving the starfish." Looking around, the older man saw the beach covered with starfish that were strewn there by the tide. And the older man smiled and he said, "Don't you realize it's impossible to save all of those starfish? There are too many." But without a word, the young man stooped and he picked up another starfish and he threw it into the sea. And then he turned to the older man and he said, "I made a difference for that one." You know, as you leave Mishawaka High School and you step into your future, make a difference. You decide what that starfish is for you, but you make a difference. And don't let any of us ever tell you that you can't, because you absolutely can. You are the leaders of the future. Class of 1996, congratulations and best wishes to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patrick. In keeping with the policy initiated more than 3 decades ago, the senior class has once again turned to a long list of distinguished Mishawaka High School alumni in search for a commencement speaker. As much deliberation and lengthy consideration, the representatives of the class and the class officers have asked me to invite Dr. Ernie DeHennens. Dr. DeHennens is a native of Mishawaka. He attended St. David's Elementary and Junior High Schools before attending Mishawaka High School, where he was active in student government and athletics. Dr. DeHennens was the junior class vice president. He was the sports editor to the Old Told. He was the president of student council and co-captain of the football team before graduating from Mishawaka High School in 1952. Dr. DeHennens attended Wabash College for 2 years on the Mishawaka High School College Scholarship and then transferred to the University of Notre Dame, from which he graduated with a Bachelor of Science, cum laude in physics in 1956. The Hughes Aircraft Company Work Study Master's Fellowship Program took him to California and allowed him to earn a Master of Arts in Physics from the University of Southern California in 1958. As a technical staff member of the Hughes Aircraft Company Research Laboratory in Malibu, California, he worked with Dr. T.H. Mayman, and in 1959 they developed a compact Halton noise Ruby maser for the use in the prototype weather radar system. For those of you that don't know what a maser is, the acronym stands for a microwave amplification by stimulation emission of radiation. They then performed combined microwave and optical experiments that ultimately led to the demonstration of the world's first laser, which stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation in 1960. Later, in 1963, Dr. DeHennens returned to Notre Dame on a Hughes Staff Doctoral Fellowship to complete his graduate studies. He was inducted into Sigma Xi, a science honorary society, and he was awarded a PhD in physics in 1966. Dr. DeHennens returned as a senior staff member to Hughes Lab in Malibu, where he worked on the state-of-the-art photodetectors, where they found application in today's night vision goggles. Later, his work led to the development of low-noise field effect transistor, which is used in the Cray subcomputer, which made feasible the small antenna for reception of satellite transmission of TV programming. During his professional tenure at Hughes, Dr. DeHennens had over 40 technical publications and 7 patents to his credit. Also during this period, he served as an adjunct professor of physics and math at California Lutheran and Pepperdine Universities. He retired from Hughes Lab in 1989. Dr. DeHennens is married to the former Shirley Vanderbosch, MHS class of 1953. They reside in Malibu, California, and have 4 children and 18 grandchildren. So please join me as we offer a warm Mishawaka welcome to one of our own, Dr. Ernie DeHennens, class of 1953.
You think it's more than those outfits? You should try this one sometime. faculty at Mishawaka High School, Dr. Katagianis, supervisor of the school city, members of the school board, parents, grandparents, friends of the graduates, and the graduates. We're here to honor you people today. We really are, each and every one of us. I agreed to address this 119th annual commencement, and then I received a gracious letter of confirmation from your principal, Mr. Tripoli, saying, among other things, that you, the class of 1996, would be awaiting my words of wisdom and encouragement. Now, I certainly will encourage you today. The success of my words of wisdom that I will leave with you are going to have to be measured by your accomplishments. That is what you do with your life after you leave Mishawaka High School. One of the things I'd like to do is to take you back to this day, 44 years ago, when myself and many of your grandparents were sitting through a commencement exercise. Some of us had made plans to go off to college. Some of us were going to enter the local job force, and some of us were going into the service of our country. And what I'd like to do is put you in our place 44 years ago. Those of us that were going to college were looking at tuition costs at private schools, Wabash and Notre Dame, which I was familiar with, had tuition of $500 a year. Room and board was maybe $100 a month on top of that, so we could really work our way through college. Get a full-time job in the summer, and if you had a part-time job going to school, you could do it. You guys have a tough road to hoe, and I really take my hat off to you, because it's tough. Those of us that were going to get jobs locally, enter the local workforce, we got a great selection. You could go into the Associates, the National Financial Corporation, any of the local banks. If you were interested in entering the manufacturing sector, there are all kinds of jobs available. You could go to Bendix, you could go to Dodges, you could go to Wheelwrighter, or you could go to the Ball Band, to name a few. Those of us that were going into the service of our country, we're looking at the Korean War. In fact, one of the people in my graduating class, Joe Vivat by name, was killed in action in Korea a couple of years after we graduated. The other things that were going on is that the Iron Curtain and the Berlin Wall were in the process of going up. And we all lived at that time under the threat of nuclear holocaust. The reason being that the unlimited testing of A-bombs, H-bombs was going on at that time. Now, let's fast forward 44 years and look at your situation. It's my understanding that education, meaning tuition, housing, and books, is going to be a minimum of $20,000 a year. You people, I'm sure, are much more familiar with the numbers than I am. As I say, I really take my hat off to you, those of you that are going on to college. As far as the local job situation is concerned, the manufacturing jobs have pretty well dried up, and that's not peculiar to Mishawaka or to Northern Indiana. It's pretty much a national phenomenon, and I'll have a little more to say about that. In terms of the companies that I mentioned, Bendix, Dodge, they're down to skeleton crews, and it's really tough to fit in there. The ones that have left town, Wheelwrighter, Studebaker is a memory of the past. It's part of Northern Indiana history, but that's it. Ball Band. Do people know Ball Band is Ball Band, or do you know it as U.S. Rubber Company? Ball Band? Okay, well, I understand Ball Band is also in the process of phasing out locally. Now, those are the comparisons that I made between then and now, and I must confess that we had a much easier time with it 44 years ago than you people will have today. So you should consider it a real challenge to get out there and make it work. The one bright spot that I do see, I talked about people that were going to go to college, I talked about people that were going to enter the job market, and I talked about people that were going to enter the service. Well, that certainly is an alternative which is open to you. In comparison to my time, we're not in an active war. You've got, quote, peacekeeping duties. The Berlin Wall is down, the Iron Curtain has crumbled, and thank the Lord that we're making reasonable progress toward disarmaments as far as the nuclear stuff is concerned. Now, as far as the local manufacturing jobs are concerned, I'm certainly not an expert on these matters, but what I'd like to do is quote to you something which Halverson wrote in his book called The Reckoning. And I quote, "Corporate America has lost all sense of social conscience in that manufacturing jobs have been moved offshore to cut costs and thereby optimize profits." Okay, and it's going on all over. It's going on all over the country. We perhaps feel it more acutely here because of the fact that Studebaker has rolled up their tent. Wheelwrighter did not move offshore, but they moved down south with their jobs. So it's a tough nut. You ask yourself, why are we in this situation? Well, it turns out that management makes these decisions to move or to stay. Management responds to ownership pressures. The ownership are really the stockholders. Now, the stockholders, many of them came from manufacturing backgrounds, and the bit of affluence they have was obtained through a manufacturing job. Also, the retirement funds of some of the big manufacturing companies are invested in the market, and therefore there's pressure to perform, to maximize profit. You ask yourself, what's the solution to this? I don't have a good answer for you. We have to fix that thing.
Seniors, please. We have guests that's traveled here to acknowledge you from the West Coast. I appreciate all of your undivided attention and your courtesy at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Okay, you have to ask yourself, where are the jobs going to come from? And my response to you is that the jobs are going to come from a service-oriented economy rather than a manufacturing-oriented economy. Now, Henry Ford introduced the manufacturing economy, and it did us very well into the mid-'80s. As far as the service-oriented organizations, a couple of cases in point. Two of the most prosperous people in this country are H. Ross Perot and Bill Gates. Okay, Perot started EDS, Electronic Data Systems, and Bill Gates started Microsoft on a shoestring, both of them, in the early 80s. And these guys today are worth billions of dollars. So I think that's where the jobs are going to come from. Now, what I'd like to do to wrap up is to lay these words of wisdom on you. Okay, and the words of wisdom are very short and brief. Just be the best that you can be. And it sounds like a recruiting slogan because they do use it, the Army uses it. But it's good advice, it really is. Be as good as you can be at whatever you do. And enjoy what you're doing. If you don't enjoy it, then it's time to shift gears. Do something that you enjoy. The Mishawaka faculty has prepared you to go out and compete in the world with a high school education that is second to none. So it's up to you people now to go out and put this education to use. And I wish you the best of luck, and that's it.
Dr. Higgins, thank you for your meaningful message and your sharing of your wisdom. The South Bend Daily Tribune on May 17, 1896, 100 years ago, described the commencement exercises. The paper stated that the class of 1896 was comprised of 9 members, 8 girls and 1 boy. It was the second largest class to graduate from Mishawaka High School up until that time. Their colors were not maroon and white, they were blue and gold. Their flower was the rose. This was the first class to have electrical illumination in their commencement ceremony. 50 years later, the class of 1946 held its 69th annual commencement program here in this gymnasium. There were 307 graduating seniors, 19 of whom were veterans from World War II who had left their studies to go to war. One of those individuals was the president of the senior class, Robert Barney. Serving in his place as class president was the class's American Legion Award winner, their junior Kiwanian, a student athlete and vice president of the senior class. Graduate of the class of 1946, William Carl Rodeman Jr., who happened to be, or happens to be today, the father of the school board president, Mr. John Rodeman. Now, 50 years later, here we are, to honor you people, the class of 1996. And in my final remarks to you, I want you to know that you're a banner body of students who have assembled here today. Collectively, for this last time, I would like to leave you with just a few thoughts and beliefs, which I know you have learned while you've been here at Mishawaka High School. Of these, most importantly, I would like for you to be wise and to be kind. Remember, kindness is more important than wisdom, and the recognition of this is the first step towards wisdom. I want all of you to be dream builders, and remember that the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up and start living them. Also, there's 10 simple things for which no one has ever been sorry for, and I would like you to remember these. You'll never be sorry for doing good to all. You'll never be sorry for speaking evil of none. You'll never be sorry for hearing before judging. You'll never be sorry for thinking before speaking. You'll never be sorry for holding an angry tongue. You'll never be sorry for being kind to the distressed. You'll never be sorry for asking pardon for wrongs. You'll never be sorry for being patient towards everyone. You'll never be sorry for turning your ears from the talebearer. And you'll never be sorry for being a graduate of Mishawaka High School. These are suggestions for success, and as you embark upon life successes and as you reap and drink from the stream, please remember the spring of wisdom, good old Mishawaka High School. I wish you, the class of 1996, the very best in all you do. And with this, I invite the class of 1996 to please rise. I present you, the class of 1996, to the world. The world is at your fingertips, and I entrust in all of you the great responsibility of being its caretakers. Bless you all. And accepting you, the class of 1996, and responding for the Board of School Trustees, is the President of the Board, Mr. John Rugeman.
Thank you. Before I have the class sit down, I would like to thank the class for being so considerate, because you knew we had a guest that was our speaker from California, and you knew to make him feel welcome, you would bring out a few beach balls. I appreciate that. Now remember, I was born and raised in Mishawaka, and I have not yet seen a beach in Mishawaka, so I hope we will have no more beach balls. But Mr. Trimboli, it's a challenge, right? Mr. Trimboli, I not only accept the graduates on behalf of the board, but I embrace each graduate. I'd like to congratulate each and every graduate, as well as the family members that are standing behind each one of you. I urge each graduate to take the time, sometime this week, and thank each member, whether it be a family member, a friend, or whoever, that helped you wear those diplomas, or wear the gowns and caps today. So please, if you can all have a seat. As Mr. Trimboli indicated, my father was in the class of 1946, 50 years ago, in this gymnasium, which was a little bit different then, but he instilled in us as young children the proud tradition of being a graduate of Mishawaka High School. For me, it was 17 years ago that I occupied your seats. However, we were able to be fortunate to be outside. But as I thought about something to say to you today, the school song came to me. I just want to breeze through the school song briefly. This is the second part of it. Do you recall? It's Fight On, Mishawaka. Live up to your name. Live up to Mishawaka heritage. Be proud that you are from Mishawaka. When you go to college and people ask where you're from, tell them you're from Mishawaka. Not, oh, we're by Notre Dame or something. Let them know you're from Mishawaka. Raise high all your standards. The sky is the limit for you as you sit in your seats. You have accomplished the goal of being a graduate. It's perfectly normal and healthy to sit down and look out and say, yes, I did it. But also use that goal as a springboard to bigger and better things. Spread around you all your fame. Don't just live life for yourself. Margaret Thatcher had a quote that said, there is little hope for our countries if the hearts of men and women in democratic societies cannot be touched by a call to something greater than themselves. Live in your communities. Be active in your communities. We're marching toward victory. A march indicates a slower, consistent march. Effort is the key. Won't stop till we're there. Much like the story of the tortoise and the hare. You must see things through until the end. So fight, Mishawaka, fight. And I know those last three words, the students just never quite get those right. I believe it's win this game. Well, I debated about what to do, and I'm going to go ahead and, I'm kind of risky, so I'm going to do it. Although I was involved in many extracurricular activities when I was in high school, you will find out that choir was not among them. And I will be singing another version of the school song to you. And as the old saying goes, it ain't over till the fat man sings. Well, after I sing, I will sit down and get on with the recording of the diplomas. So here goes. March, march on across the stage. You're out to life engaged. Our teachers and all our grads are just so supreme. So give a loud cheer for each grad, each to make us feel so glad. All high schools may try to compete, but our grads will compete. Learn on loyal achievement. You're prepared to succeed. Make real all your dreams and fulfill your every need. You're marching towards success. Don't stop till you're there. So fight, achievement, graduates, and men. Life's game.
Thank you, Mr. Rugeman. I guess we found another of your hidden talents. As we prepare to announce the names of the graduating seniors, I would like to remind our guests in the stands that everybody should remain seated until the conclusion of the program. A professional photographer has been contracted to take a color photograph of your graduate at the moment that the diploma is conferred. You will receive a color proof through the mail. Please cooperate with us and let us have an enjoyable and distraction-free conclusion to this year's commencement ceremony. At this time, I will call on Mr. Eby to read the names of the students who are in the academic top 10 as they rank in the class of 1996. Then he will read in alphabetical order the first half of our graduating class. After Mr. Eby, Mr. Canos will follow alphabetically with the names of the students in the second half of our graduating class. Mr. Eby. Graduating academic distinction are the following 10 seniors. Valedictorian, Mary Christina Nikiver. Valedictorian, Alicia Renee Dooley. Valedictorian, Matthew R. Dorgan. Salutatorian, Amy Elizabeth Lucas. Salutatorian, Andrew Paul Yoakum. Ranking sixth in our graduation class, Carrie Ann Cobb. Seventh ranking, senior Susan Marie Hamley. Ranking eighth in our graduating class, Kimberly Joy Gill. Ranking ninth in our graduation class, Lisa Marie Fiedler. Ranking 10th in our graduation class, Amanda Lynn Kinley. Following alphabetically, I present exempt first half of 96 graduation class. Matthew Brian Alford. Tara Renee Allwine. Jesse Paul Amador. Joshua Paul Amador. Lindsay Nicole Ammerman. Randall Paul Atkinson. Dalia Adia. Keith Allen Baldini. Matthew Earl Blue. Ryan David Banks. Joseph Michael Barhite. Stacy Garoni. Robert J. Barrett. Sarah Michelle Bassler. Rebecca Gail Bates. Rosemary D. Baxter. Erica Michelle Beard. Kelly Ann Beatty. Edward Gary Becker. Kimberly Benedict. Sarah K. Bennett. Amy Marie Burke. Mike Bidlack. Justin Philip Bidlack. Julie Ann Blandon. Ryan Anthony Blasco. Ryan Ann Blatz. Travis Jeremy Bowman. Aaron Marie Bowman. Kelly Ann Brinkley. Jacob R. Brown. Melissa Ann Brunner. Bianca Ann Bryant. Randy Renee Bulmer. Scott Allen Beard. Erin Marie Carnes. Anna Elizabeth Carpenter. Robert Case. Lacey Lee Champion. Maurice Adita Chikidama. Brooke Ryan Chapinski. Yoon Choi. Dave Coffey. Darla Marion Coleman. Sean Compton. Devin Russell Cook. Susan Renee Corbin. Jason Matthew Krieger. Matthew Brothers. Sherry Sue Curtis. Christina Nicole Daly. Martina Marie Day. Michelle Kathleen Deal. Marcy Lynn DeBlock. Todd Michael Decker. Kristen R. DeCrane. William H. Dempler Jr. Christopher E. Denaway. Krista Suzanne Dentino. Bernard A. DeRook. Ginger DeWinter. Bruce H. DeWolf Jr. Adam Charles Dobbins. Amanda Dodd. Crystal Therese Dunn. Corey Duvall. Jennifer Lynn Dido. Jacqueline Marie Everett. Jessica Louise Echeverria. Nicole Naomi Ingendorfer. Jennifer Renee Eichhorst. Jameson Gerald Hurst Eller. Zachary Austin Emmons. Matthew Lee Ernst. Corey Allen Eskridge. Sally Elizabeth Evans. Carrie Christine Fagan. Gregory Fayos. Joseph Flowers. Shannon Teresa Ford. Joseph Forsberg. Chris Allen Gates. Kimberly Ann Geiger. Clinton Michael Gerard. Crystal Marie Gill. Jason Gill. Wendy J. Cleveland. Jessica Gooch. Tony R. Griffin. Rebecca D. Brugine. David R. Gunn. Lauren Paul Hagee. James G. Howard. Richard Lynn Ambeck II. Amber A. Harmon. Bobby Joe Liebner. Joshua F. Edel. Tanya Heinsberger. Thomas J. Henry. Jennifer Terry Hoffman. Amanda Lynn Hope. Suzanne M. Coleman. Joshua Justin Hope. Aaron Housen. Michelle Howard. Christopher Howe. Teresa Ann Huggins. Kimberly Sue Curley. Jennifer Melissa James. Gloria Lynn James. Shane C. Johnway. Elvis Todd John. James Michael Timothy Jossie. Jennifer Lynn Key. Melissa K. Kiefer. Roxy Ann Kish. Andrew Daniel Black. Patricia Grace Knapp. Shelley K. Cole. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Assistant Principal Mr. John Panos, who will be presenting the second half of our graduation class. Continuing with the class of 1996, Bonnie Deanne Cragle. Marcus Allen Presner. Marka Eloise Cooch. Amanda K. Moss. Pete Lang. Jennifer Lynn Leffel. Sarah Marie Lennox. Jason Edward Lyson. Jason Michael Long. Michael Richard Love. Angela Lois Bailey. Nathaniel James Manhan. Catherine Raina Malkowitz. Kathleen Marie Martin. Kimberly Dawn Martin. Melinda Mason. Scott Mason. Annie Elizabeth Mawson. Tim M. McAlexander. Chad David McKee. Tanya Marie McCarty. Melissa Ann McKay. Marion Elizabeth Bednar. Ryan Edward Meehan. Jamie Christine Meixel. Ryan A. Maluski. Adam Joseph Miller. Betsy Suzanne Mitz. Angela Gershin. Nicholas Patrick Molnar. Samuel Luke. Catherine Elizabeth Murray. Marcia Marie Nelson. Elizabeth Nurswicki. Chuck L. Norris III. Robert J. O'Hara. Matthew C. Owen. Kelly M. Patton. Erin Courtney Parker. Lori Marie Parker. Jessa Renee Paskey. Angela Marie Pasternak. Mary Christine Eden. Tom Peterzak. Ryan Wayne Orman. Cassandra Lynn Hope. Chrissy Potter. Candy Howard. Megan Lynn Quick. Kenneth R. Quick Brown. Erica Danielle Rayburn. Robin Elizabeth Rail. Craig E. Redmond. Dennis Wayne Rhodes II. Kurt Lee Richardson. Landon Wayne Riggle. Sarah Suzanne Riggleman. Brittany Gail Robinson. Shannon Rock. Cynthia Louise Rush. Jessica Marie Russell. Mark Anthony Salais. Christopher Sanchez. Adam James Sandifer. Adam Michael Santiago. Tricia Lynn Schaefer. Laura LaVon Schaefer. Cassandra Shermer. Kelly Lynn Schroeder. Jennifer J. Search. Sarah Marie Shoesmith. Latifi Savant Simon. Kelly C. Singleton. Janae Skeeters. Heather Elaine Skelton. Brian Smith. Byron Edward Smith. David A. Smith. Stephanie Ann Smith. Tricia Smith. Derek Snyder. Michael Soborowski. Jessica Lynn Subchinsky. Tracy Marie Stratton. David R. Stanford. Cynthia Denise Stanbridge. Jason W. Saldinger. Mark A. Stevenson Jr. Chrissy Lynn Stevens. Kimberly K. Stevenson. Matthew C. Strickland. Michelle Ann Spricker. Jessica Lynn Swayze. Marina Elizabeth Swift. Amber Marie Tecferry. Nicole Taylor. Zach Turman. Ashley D. Thompson. Karen Lynn Thompson. Douglas Allen Tibbs. Jamie Robert Tormo. Kevin Michael Trieber. Catalina Vallejo. Wesley Allen Van Rainey. Benjamin Michael Vance. Mark D. Van Poppel. Molly Beltman. Jacqueline Ann Vogler. Jason L. Wagner. Erin Elizabeth Holt. Lyle L. Walter Jr. Kip Weisbeaver. Angela Valerie Justina Weller. Jennifer Michelle Wint. Keith Werner. Michelle Wisman. Janelle Marie White. Christina Marie Whitfield. David Williams. Jeremy Willingham. Jacob Wilson. David Scott Windsor. Jennifer Marie Wiseman. Carrie Nicole Wojciechowski. Matthew Miller. Michael R. Yankee. Adam Lynn Yoder. Anne Marie Zering. Michael Zender. Ryan L. Zeiger. Donald R. Zimmerman. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Natasha, the Board of School Trustees, our commencement speaker, Dr. Ernie D. Hennings, Mary DeKeemer, Alicia Dooley, Matthew Dorban, Elizabeth Lucas, Andrea Yoakum, Mr. Eady, and Mr. Canos for their contributions here today. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Urbanski, the senior class sponsor, for his preparation in today's ceremonies. In addition to that, I'd like to thank Mr. Cecil and Mr. Long. You and your talented musical groups are to be commended for their fine performances. In keeping with another tradition established more than 60 years ago, the four outstanding juniors who assisted today's commencement, Jessica Campbell, Emily Tribbley, led by processional, also Tom Dilly and Chris Van Pavo, who ushered the students as they approached the level platform today. Mike Dilly. Excuse me. Now, our commencement program will conclude with the final valedictory addresses presented by Mishawaka High School's 1996 valedictorians in this order: Mary DeKeever, daughter of Mary and Joseph DeKeever; Alicia Dooley, daughter of Carol and Roger Dooley; and finally Matthew Dorban, son of Laura and John Dorban. Mary?
Thank you. On this Sunday afternoon of June 9, 1996, we are not only celebrating the accomplishment of completing high school, but also we are celebrating the beginning of the rest of our lives. This is why it is appropriate to call this ceremony a commencement. During our senior year, most of us read the book The Odyssey. Our lives can be compared much to the life of Ulysses in the Odyssey. Just as Ulysses is sent on a journey, we too will be sent on a journey through life. The journey of each of us will involve meeting different kinds of people, going different places, and doing different things. Our lives will be shaped by how well we react to all of these things. First, in the future, our lives will be influenced by many different people. These include a college roommate, a coworker, an elderly neighbor, and ultimately the person whom we choose to be our life's partner. All of these people will fulfill a need of ours, whether it is helping us to obtain knowledge or helping us to get through bad times and good times. Next, some of us will choose to stay in our hometown, and others will move to distant places in this country and even around the world. Even though
though we will never be together as we are today because life will take us in all different directions, we will always be together in spirit as the class of '96. Finally, each of us will choose a different career path to follow. I find it fascinating that this class will have persons with just about every career imaginable. When we return for reunion, there will be teachers, doctors, nurses, computer programmers, persons who wish to serve their country in the armed forces, and people who choose to be moms and dads, plus many other careers will be represented. All of these jobs will have two things in common. First, each job is helpful to society in that it serves someone or something. And two, Mishawaka High School will play a crucial role for students from this class in helping them to develop the education needed for the job. No matter where we all go or what we do, everyone will still be connected through our 4 years here at Mishawaka High School. Going back to Ulysses, in the poem Ulysses, by Alfred Lord Tennyson, Tennyson says, "'Tis not too late to seek a newer world." And so it is with us. The journey of our lives will lead us in the future to seek newer worlds, such as the transformation of our society, the change in our lives, and ultimately, the rebirth of ourselves. Good luck and Godspeed, class of 1996.